Hello everybody, Dr. Mariana here from Skin Talk. I hope you're ready for a fun video today. I'm going to talk about funky places that I inject fillers and neuromodulators like Botox, Dysport, or Xeomin, or Nucivia. So, we do know all the classical traditional areas that we inject these products, but today we're going to look at some interesting different areas. So for a filler, one of the very obvious areas that we can improve is our hands. So by injecting some hyaluronic acid fillers in our hands, it just helps to look a little bit less aged. It improves the lankiness and the veins and hydrates the skin and just give us that little bit more of a youthful hand that'll match our faces. And then the other area that I find quite interesting to inject is earlobes. So as we age, our earlobes get a little bit more saggy and it gets droopy from wearing earrings. And injecting a tiny little bit of hyaluronic acid filler just to create that little bit of roundness and youthfulness of the earlobe looks very rounded. And then we've talked about chins and just even a chin on its own. As this area tend to get smaller, or we basically genetically have some issues with the chin, I find just putting a little bit of filler in a chin just really helps to finish off a face as well. And obviously, like I've talked before, a little bit different shape for women versus men. And then also with that jawline definition in my MD Codes video, I talked about that in details. Definitely can just give us that little bit more of a slimmer appearance for our face neck area. And then one of the funnest areas that I love injecting and looking at is the lip filtrum. So this is the area basically between the upper part of your lip and your nose. Some people have a natural little mound there, and for people who's got especially a long distance between their nose and their upper lip, and that's completely flat, just creating that ever so slightly little triangle there really helps to create that more sensual lip. And then I also love injecting just this tiniest little amount of fillers right in the V of our mouth corners. That helps to stabilize that mouth corners. Sometimes even can create a little bit of a wider mouth if that's what we need to make get you the balance in your face, or sometimes just help turning up that mouth corner. So then switching over to our neuromodulators, an area that is becoming very popular to inject is the masseter muscle, which is our chewing muscle that we have. So when we inject Botox into this area, it relaxes the muscles, and it definitely can help relieve symptoms for patients who have TMJ symptoms, but it also changes the shape of a face. So, some people who's got very square jawline because of the bulkiness of this muscle, when we soften this area, it really creates that more shaped or triangular shaped of the face. And then I also inject Botox or neuromodulators in a chin. So this muscle that tends to move around when we use our lips and create an irregular orange peel appearance, putting a tiny little bit of Botox in there just helps to soften that as well. And then the other area in the lower face that I inject neuromodulators is in the muscle that tends to pull our mouth corners down and create deeper marionette lines as well. It's called the depressor angular ocularis muscle. And injecting just a tiny little Botox carefully in this area helps to just relieve that tension that's on the mouth corner. And then another area that we inject is what we call the platysmal band, which is these bands that we have on our neck that tends to pull our neck down a little bit. So by injecting a little bit of Botox in that area, it just releases the muscle contraction and create a little bit more of a defined jawline as well. And then of course the gummy smile. So some people who have bigger upper lip muscles, when they smile, lift their whole lip up, and then will expose the gums when they are smiling. And we can treat that by injecting just a tiny little bit of Botox into that muscle that will just drop that upper lip. So when they smile, they have a less gummy smile. And then lastly, our ever so popular lip flip, where we inject tiny little bit of Botox in the upper and lower lip that helps to just gives you that little bit of an appearance of a bigger lip. So that's it for today, all the funky places that I inject, and I hope you learned a little bit about that today. So stay tuned for my fun shout out. So my shout out today is life lessons that I have learned over the last 2.5-3 years while learning how to play golf. I think the most important one that would be number one on my list would be patience. I also have very slowly learned to let it go. A good life lesson, I think, as we age. I also have learned never to say never. I also believe on the golf course luck does not actually exist. I see variety gets the job done. And I also don't get stuck on failures. You have to be able to move on once you have hit a bad shot. And I think the most important one for me is keeping the big picture in mind. You know, we're around here to have fun and enjoy life and golf. Hope you have a great day. Till next time. Bye-bye.